Hey, all right, there we go. Do a little chat check here. All right, looks like the chat is working. Let's see if it's working on my side. It is working on my side. So, all right. Hendrick got the louvers taken away, and everybody has an opinion on that. We are waiting on NASCAR to see what NASCAR has to say about that. But I don't know. I think that's probably going to be one of the big storylines because no matter what happens, whatever NASCAR says, like fans are going to feel one way or another about it. There's not going to be any in between on it. Like we all know that every single team pushes the envelope, cheats, whatever you want to call it. They all do it, but when you get caught, you got to pay the piper. A lot of people feel that whenever Hendrick gets caught, they don't have to pay the same penalty. They always get a slap on the wrist or things like that. That is the general consensus, and Hendrick fans obviously do not think the same way on that. So really depends on where you stand on it. So no matter what happens, it's going to be interesting. But NASCAR last year said it had a zero tolerance policy on parts modifications. That means if it happens before the race, if it happens during the race, if it happens after the race when they catch it, that it should be the same penalty. So if it is the same penalty as Roush and them, it should be the same fine or whatever you want to call it, the same payment penalty point. It should be the same points and the same fine. So that's all I was saying with that. A lot of people took that and ran with it. I'm saying ifs. We're still waiting to see what NASCAR says about it. And if NASCAR comes back and says it's no penalty at all, man, some people are really going to melt down there as well too. So it's just really going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Uh, but if it is the same thing that Roush was doing, or they're accused and convicted of the same thing that Roush was doing, it should be the same penalty. And I say that because it should be fair across the board for anybody. If you're doing the same thing and get caught doing the same thing, it should be the same penalty for everybody across the board. That's just the way it is. Let's see here. Bumblebee says, "Are we on yet?" LOL. So yeah, apparently I was 1 minute late. I don't know. Apologies for that. It took my internet a minute to pull up the thing. Let's see. Must be daylight savings time. Ian Fisher says, "Sorry, I was 1 minute late. I apologize for that." Hey, what's up? Bologna Burger says, "OJ and Toothpaste. OJ and Toothpaste, always good to have you on here today." Chrome Diesel saying, "What's up?" Kyle Grayson had their louvers on the 31 taken away as well. Well, that's interesting. So there you go. Maybe it's a complete Chevy thing, or from that perspective, it could be a situation where the actual manufacturer of the louvers has gotten off. So, like I said, it could be anything. It could be anything here. Like, but no matter what NASCAR says, people are going to feel a certain way about it, right? So, like if you're a Toyota or a Ford fan and Hendrick doesn't get a big penalty here, you're going to be like, see, they've paid off NASCAR again. They've bribed them. And then if you're a Hendrick fan and they get a big penalty, you're gonna feel some kind of way because they found it before the race ever started. So you're going to be like, we shouldn't get the same penalty because we didn't even use it in the race. So no matter which side of the coin you're on, you're going to be upset and mad about it. The funny thing is, after they took the louvers away, Kyle Larson still got the pole, right? So I don't think that was the part that was making them fast. So even if they do get penalized, I don't think they necessarily hurt their speed with losing that part. Let's see here. Kevin S., what's up, man? William Tyre says, "All right, let's see. Let's get the show on the road." Kevin S. says, "Penalty aside, I think Larson looks like he did early 2021. He's going to be a threat to win every race as long as the engines hold. He has figured out the car now. Yeah, he's looked pretty strong here at Phoenix, at least in practice. There's no doubt about it." Philip Canavan says, "Damned if you do, damned if you don't." Penalizing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No matter what NASCAR says, because it's Hendrick and because Hendrick is so polarizing, no matter what they do, something's going to be said there, right? Do you think Kimmy, Connor, or Jensen will win COTA, says OJ and Toothpaste? I don't know. I don't think Kimmy's probably sitting in a fast enough car, but it's such a learning curve. Connor, I don't think has the car to do it, no matter how good he drives. I think we saw that at Daytona when they couldn't even get it off the ground. Should have had practice there. I don't necessarily put that all on the team. Jenson Button, I think, is going to get SHR equipment. So I think Kimmy and Jenson, and that's just my thoughts on it. I haven't seen anything where it is going to be an SHR car, but Mobile being on the side of the car leads me to believe that. So I think those two have the cars, so they would have the best shot to get in there and get I would say a top 5 would be a win for them, but winning a cup race is just super hard. But I think they've got the talent to do it. I don't know if they have enough experience and repetitions in a cup car, so I don't know. But I think Jenson and Kimmy will definitely have the best cars to get it done. And Jordan Taylor will definitely be sitting in a race-winning car. We've seen that 9 car win several road course races. Team Penske fan, what's up, Bologna Burger? I need some help for my fantasy. Can you tell me what drivers you think are underdogs to win or favorites to win or finish in the top 10? Well, the site I normally go to has too much traffic on it today. So I would just go off of practice speeds and where a driver like normally finishes at a type of race like this. So underdogs for this track, that's a tough one. I don't know. I don't know if there's necessarily, usually the people that run really good here. So I don't necessarily think that there's a ton of underdogs for this particular track. To be totally honest, I know all the Penske cars are here, so maybe Austin Cindric would be a good underdog. Although the Penske cars were slow in practice, so I don't know. It's going to be a tough one. Robin Marks, what's up? What's up, Canada? Good to have you on here. William Tire, just change the time 30 minutes and leave it there. They like saving time. I got you. Yeah. Yeah, some people, I think Indiana doesn't even participate in daylight saving time. So some states don't even participate in it. Bumblebee says it looks like Chevy, more of a Chevy issue than a Hendrick Motorsports issue, honestly. It could be. It could be a situation like that. And it could be something where the manufacturer had a defective part. I've seen that before too. Mark Barnum, what's up? I know when we went to Martinsville, the people, CV, the people that made the spacers for the carburetors, several of us, none of us had modified them, but several of us had those confiscated because they came from the manufacturer that way, and NASCAR didn't like the way they looked. So effectively, all NASCAR did was, get CV more money. I can't remember who made it. It might not even been CV. But anyway, whoever made the spacer, they just got more money that day because we had to buy another spacer. But it was nothing anybody had done. It was just the way they manufactured the part. So it could be a situation like that. It's just going to be really interesting what NASCAR has to say about it, especially now that one of the louvers from the 31 car has been taken away. Now, did they take away that 31 louver so they had another one to look at? There's all kinds of things that could be at play. Like, you could speculate all day, right? That's what I'm saying. It's going to be interesting to see what NASCAR does. But if they did modify the part, they should, in my opinion, get the same penalty as Roush. So that's the way it should go. It should be the same penalty for everybody, especially since NASCAR said they've got a zero tolerance policy this year, or with this new car for modifying parts. Randy Tingen, Race Day BB, keep up the awesome program. I will do my best. I will try. Watch out for that 77 car today out at Phoenix. It's been super fast all weekend, and maybe we'll punch his ticket to the playoffs today. Always a threat. That car is always a threat. So far, he has won the race on Earth 1 for last place because he has managed to finish below 30th in just about every race this year. He's finished under 30th. So far he's off to a good start. So on Earth 2, technically he should be I don't think he's outside of the top 5 in Earth 2. So he's going to punch that ticket today, no doubt about it. Chrome Diesel, that's one thing I'm worried. If whoever made the spec parts and not properly made, it would screw up someone big time. Yeah, that's 100% like a fair thing to say. Like I said, when we went to Martinsville, that happened to us with the spacer. So it's going to be seriously interesting to see what happened there. And no matter what, like I said, no matter what NASCAR says, fans are going to feel some kind of way about it. Like if Hendrick gets off because the manufacturer of the parts made the parts wrong, people are going to explode with absolute hatred on Hendrick. They already hate Hendrick anyway. So that's going to be really interesting to see. That's what I'm saying. The fans are going to have their minds made up one way or the other. But what actually happens and what NASCAR has to say, that's what I'm more interested in. So it's going to be interesting either way. Ian Fisher says, excited to see how today's new package goes because I feel the Xfinity races have been outshining the Cup this season. Yeah, 100%. We were actually talking about this at the track this weekend. The Xfinity has put on for the last 2 years way better races than the Cup races have been putting on. in basically what is basically just an old Cup car. So I don't know. I don't know how NASCAR feels about it. I'm sure they don't like it. I'm sure a new package will be coming to Xfinity soon. If the Xfinity cars keep putting on better races than the Cup cars, they'll ruin the Xfinity cars too pretty soon. Ruin, in my opinion, because I feel like the Xfinity cars put on better races. If you like the next gen car, good for you. I'm not telling you how to live your life or what to like or whatever or anything like that. Go Harvick, number 10 for the win at Phoenix, says Mark Barnum. Yeah, without a doubt, Kevin Harvick's got to be one of your favorites. He has absolutely dominated this track. Does he have his head wrapped around this new car with the new package for Phoenix, new configuration at Phoenix? We don't know, but we definitely know on old Phoenix that Kevin Harvick was definitely the man. No doubt about that. Joshua Jenkins says, what's up, BB from VA, go 43. Yeah, I mean, Eric Jones is usually pretty good at tracks like this. Like I said, the website I normally go to for numbers, not pulling them up. But Legacy Motorsports has been off to a very slow start. They've been involved in a lot of wrecks. They haven't had that speed that they had toward the end of last year. So that's been sort of a surprise. A lot of hype for Legacy coming into this, and they have not lived up to it so far. Very early in the season. I mean, we're nothing to get too excited about just yet. But they haven't had the speed from last year. William Wagner says they were raced, used the louvers were confiscated before they made one lap on the track. All I can say is wait till Tuesday. Nothing will be filed. No penalties. So that's interesting. So yeah, I mean, it was pre-race, but it's interesting. It will be interesting to see what NASCAR has to say. That's actually what I'm waiting on. But if it is a modification of parts, and NASCAR said zero tolerance, then it should be the same modification for parts penalty that all those other teams have gotten too. I know Front Row Motorsports got one. Petty GMS, now Legacy Motorsports, they got a penalty too. Theirs was only 40 points, so it was a different type of modification. So there is a chance that all the Hendrick teams get a 40-point penalty. I remember that after I made the video. I made that video at 4 o'clock in the morning, by the way, getting ready to go to the race. I barely got it done under the time crunch, so I didn't have time to look up every single penalty from last year. Matt Hunter, thanks for the pre-race chat. Hoping for either a Suarez Bell championship pick or Brad Keselowski victory today. Who's your long shot? He's not a long shot. Christopher Bell's good there. Daniel Suarez has finished really well all season this year, and nobody is really talking about him. So Daniel Suarez would actually be my long shot. Corey LaJoie's had some speed this year, so he would be like my super long shot. And at some point, I think the Stewart-Haas cars are going to hit the setup and be fast, like all four of them at the same time. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Ryan Preece be really good here. So I would keep an eye on Ryan Preece as well, just off the top of my head. Like I said, the website I usually go to for numbers has too much traffic, so I have not been able to look up the actual numbers for this race. Who's Fox Broadcast bringing in the booth next week? I think next week is Tony Stewart. He's drag racing this weekend, but next weekend I think it's Tony Stewart. I think it's Danica again this weekend. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Tony Stewart next weekend. Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time, says Mark Barnum. So there you go. That's another one. So Arizona and Indiana. Hawaii doesn't do daylight saving time along with Arizona. So there you go. That's three. That's three people that are living a normal life. Daylight saving time is very annoying. What did you think of the Xfinity Series race yesterday? Says OJ and Toothpaste. I thought it was a really good race. I didn't see it, but everybody seems to have said it was a really good race. I was at the racetrack myself. Really cool that Sammy Smith won. Apparently there was a big wreck toward the end of it that sort of caused some controversy. I don't know exactly what happened there. Junior Motorsports is off to kind of a slow start though, so I don't know. What do you think? Boyer, Mike Joy, Clint Boyer, and a Pirate's Dream in the booth today, says Mark Barnum. So there you go. William Tire, car 54. Where are you? Oh, there you go. So that's interesting. And William Tire also saying, go Larson. They'll ruin the Xfinity cars soon too, says Dwayne Mueller. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat that one. I think the old car raced a lot better than this new car. They will eventually iron out this new car and get it better. We've seen it. It's already better this year than it was last year. And Tyler Reddick has already actually said that they're fixing to be all the way wide open throttle all the way around every racetrack because they've got this car figured out now too. So or at the 1.5 miles, I should say. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with this new car going forward. Will they figure out a way to make it race as good as the old car? I don't know. I don't know. But it's so far not as good as the old car was as far as racing product on the track. William Tire really want just a good race. I love the Phoenix racetrack, but it very rarely has like a really exciting or close finish. So that's going to be interesting to see if that happens. But that being said, the new configuration, I think when they moved the start finish line, that sort of took away your chance of having a good finish. But the racetrack itself is probably one of the best, if not the best, racetracks to go to watch a race at. And they can't all be like barn burner finishes. I mean, I'm sure NASCAR is going to try to find a way if they can to throw a caution with 5 to go so they can get a green, white checker for a highlight finish. But I mean, they can't all be barn burners. Sometimes you got to appreciate a race for what it is. I just watched a race this weekend where Deke McCaskill absolutely wore him out. He saved his tires, and then about like halfway, he decided it was time to go. And when he decided it was time to go, nobody was even in his zip code. So, I mean, sometimes you got to appreciate the race for what it is. Like he stomped them. And so I appreciated watching the race from that perspective. I mean, even though I was helping out with another car, like we didn't have the speed to participate to get the win, but our driver did a good job too in the late model deal, sort of helping out with Tate Fogelman, and then Justin Whitaker on the pro late model side. How Justin Whitaker brought it home without completely destroying the car, I don't know, because there were so many wrecks in the pro late model race. But sometimes you just got to appreciate a race for what it is, and that was really cool too. Looking at the Gator Nationals today, Tony had his first red light. Oh man, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's not a good deal. I'm not a drag racing expert by any means, but yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. So he was on it and ready to go. Appreciate that, Mark Barnum. Dwayne Mueller Suarez has been awesome this year. I've got him in my pool, so that's pretty cool. I think I do remember his numbers. He's actually pretty good here. It's really going to be hard to call because typically Fords are really fast here, but I was looking at the speed charts and the Fords were not super fast. Are they working on long run speed or something like that? I don't know, but it looked like Hendrick is once again going to be your favorites here. So pick one of the 4 Hendrick drivers or put all 4 of them in there, depending on how your fantasy league is set up. I don't know, but it looked like they were super fast here. Smoke got beat in the second round, says Mark Wachowski. So he's it's going to probably be a learning curve for him, but hopefully he can get it going over there on the drag racing side. Herb's got his top 10 I got another top 10 in a row dating back to last year. So 10 top 10s in a row. That's pretty cool. And for a dude that gets a lot of hate, he is very consistent. So, I mean, you can't take that away from him. I mean, he's a super consistent driver. Recently he has not torn up a lot of stuff. So, I like the way he's progressing and coming along there. They should move the Clash to Bowman Gray or Eldora, but that will never happen. I mean, if you want a race like that, Bowman Gray is probably a much better venue to have a race like that. But the problem with that is that would be another race in North Carolina. A lot of people have argued that there are too many races in North Carolina. So, I don't know. Eldora would be a good fit because at least it's outside of North Carolina. If you want to have a true dirt race, you should have it on a true dirt racing track. So Eldora would be a great fit for that. A lot of people are going to complain about the traffic there. Allegedly, I've never been, but I remember last time I talked about this, there was a lot of comments about the traffic would be a nightmare. And then some people countered and said the traffic wouldn't be a nightmare because they fixed it now. I don't know. But I think Eldora would be a great one for the dirt race. I agree with that 100%. William Wagaman says, was that your license photo or your lineup photo? You're doing a heck of a job. Thank you. Yeah, so that was my mugshot for my Cars Tour Pass or whatever to get into the racetrack. I think it is from one of my old driver's license pictures though. So I was wondering where they got the picture from. But yeah, it definitely looks like a mugshot. There's no doubt about that. It's not a good picture, but most mugshots are not good pictures. So it is what it is. Willow Spicewood, what's going on? Good to have you on here. Joshua Jenkins, who do you think gets the 4 car next year? Do you think Chastain gets the Busch sponsorship? What are your thoughts? I think typically when Adam Stern reports something, he's got some inside information. So I'm pretty sure it's going to Chastain. I would like to see Kyle Busch get it for at least one race, if it's for nothing but a throwback, because Busch beer, Kyle Busch, it just lines up, and then Busch going back to RCR would line up as well. Jeffrey Earnhardt throwing his name in the ring, I like that too, because you could get sort of a throwback to the old Yingling car that Ty Dillon ran in the Xfinity series. So I think it would line up there. I think everything would be really cool if they sort of took the approach like Monster Energy and Bass Pro Shops takes, where, okay, we're going to sponsor Trackhouse for 9 or 10 races, but we'll sponsor, RCR for one race, and we'll go down to Xfinity for one race with Jeffrey Earnhardt as well. I think that would be cool if they did that next year too, especially if Jeffrey Earnhardt can drive that 3 car again for Richard Childress Racing, and you put the Yingling on there and you do the throwback deal. That would be really cool, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to Trackhouse and Ross Chastain. William Wagaman, breaking news, it's going to be Whoopi Goldberg in the booth next week. Hey, there you go. I'm not a big Whoopi Goldberg fan. That's all I can say about that one. BB, have you drank the Monster Beast drink yet? I have not had a chance to try that one out yet. I know they were drinking it on the Dale Jr. download, so they're pushing it pretty good. So that's pretty cool. I have not tasted it yet. Regular Monster is pretty good, so I imagine it would taste like regular Monster with adult sauce in it. Matt Hunter says, I wish Phoenix's finish line was after the dog leg, similar to Talladega. Yeah, I think that's something simple they could do, and I think that would maybe give you a better finish, because coming off that turn, cars can get way closer. So if they didn't make it quite as far away from the dog leg, I think it would be definitely better finishes, no doubt about it. And that's something small that they could do very easily, in my opinion. Every race is good, says Mark Wachowski. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at certain stuff, you just got to appreciate every race for what it is. Some races are not good because there's way too many wrecks, and guys shouldn't be wrecking and doing stuff like that. But yeah, for the most part, you can find good stuff in every race. Every race doesn't have to be a photo finish, I guess, is what I was trying to get at. What did you think of iRacing series that Fox had during 2020 during the lockdowns or whatever? I thought it was a joke. I think the fact that they had people in there that weren't taking it seriously frustrated a lot of people. Most famously, Bubba Wallace rage quitting and losing. What was it? Blue Emu. He lost Blue Emu as a sponsor in real life because he rage quit an iRacing game. I don't think they took it seriously though, so I don't think it was that big of a deal. Katie Hettinger got a top 5 in the Cars Tour last night. Yeah, she had a really good car, and she ran a really solid, smart race, and was a contender during that last restart. But like I said, nobody had anything for Deke McCaskill. That guy, he was on rails. He had that thing hooked up. Good dude too. Like one of my favorite people in all of racing. Race is clean. He's never really wrecked anybody that I can remember. Class act all the way around. So Deke McCaskill, pretty much the man as far as that goes. I've never heard anybody say anything bad about the guy. Bo Darville says Xfinity cars are so much better at this track. Several cars rode through the field multiple times yesterday. I doubt this package will give us that. Yeah, that's the problem, man. When you watch the Xfinity Series cars and how they can race, and then you watch these cars, it's night and day how much better the Xfinity cars are for circle track racing, and that's just the truth. In my opinion, obviously it's subjective, so it's my opinion, but to me, it's just night and day how much better the Xfinity cars race than the current Gen 7 car. Cole Custer hasn't done much this year. Riley definitely beating him out every week. Yeah, that's been an interesting thing to see. We know Cole Custer is good, so it makes me wonder how good that second car is. Do they need to make some massive overhaul adjustments to that team over there? Like, what's going on? What's the major disconnect over there that's making that car so much slower than his teammate? It's really going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. I fully expect Cole Custer to turn it around, though. But sometimes the second car, it takes it a while to get up to speed to the other car. So it's going to be an interesting thing to track. In all honesty, though, Harvick is the king of Phoenix. His results speak for themselves. I think he'll get another top 10 here today at the very least. I think so, too. He's just not going to dominate that track like he did under the old configuration. That's all I was talking about. Yeah, no doubt about it. He gets the top 10. Angus 420 says, I got bored the other day and painted a 454 cubic inch on the hood of my truck like the old NASCAR days, cut the muffler off, and then had 8 inches of heavy wet snow. that night. She sounded pretty mean. Says Angus. That's pretty cool. I do miss the cubic inches being on the hood. That was a really cool thing they did back in the day. Those old cars, they were very simple schemes, but they're iconic. They're just really classic. So I do like the way the old cars looked in several ways. Plus, they were more close to factory stock. Just everything about the old cars like that are really cool. Earps will go to the 10 car, and Priest will move to the 4 car. That is my call, says Mark Barnum. Yeah, so that's if they're looking to find some funding, Riley Herbst is definitely the direction you're going to go in. So no doubt about it. Priest to the 4 car wouldn't surprise me either. You want to take one of your better drivers. It also wouldn't surprise me. Well, I guess we're talking about crew chiefs and not necessarily car numbers. It also wouldn't surprise me to see like a crew chief swap around. They would swap around Rodney Childers to whoever they thought is the best driver there. So I'm looking forward to see all the moves they're going to be making over there at Stewart-Haas Racing. Both the forces got beat today, says Mark Barnum. So that's a rare occurrence, but or at least the times I've watched it. Like I said, far from an expert. But that stinks. I do like John Force. I do pull for John Force over there in that deal. So that stinks. I tried Hard Mountain Dew, and it's absolute garbage except for the Code Red, aka Cherry. Code Red's always the best Mountain Dew, no matter what. Hold Fast, Shell, yeah, BB, great job, very good job. Also, is it just me, or these cautions are eating up precious race laps? Yeah, that's actually another big criticism I have of the stage cautions is that they, like, the caution's coming. Get all that stuff in order and make the stage cautions way less laps than they are. Like, I feel like the stage cautions take way too long on the track. So I don't know. That's another criticism I have about the stage cautions. I think SHR is in trouble when Kevin Harvick retires, says OJ and Toothpaste. Could be. I mean, Chase Briscoe needs to step up in a big way. We haven't seen what Ryan Preece. I want to give Ryan Preece a full season before I make a comment about him. But those two definitely need to step up. Eric Almirola, he's always going to be consistent, but he's never going to be a guy that stacks you like 8 or 10 wins. He's just not that dude. He's just super consistent. He's going to do what the car can do. So it's just going to be, is Chase Briscoe going to break out? I thought he was going to break out toward the end of last year, but it hasn't panned out this season. So it looks like he's going to be streaky again. So I don't know. They're going to have somebody step up in a big way because Kevin Harvick has been the leader of that team for a long time now. Moulton is at church praying for Custer, says Mark Barnum. I mean, he can't be happy about the start to the season. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, he's definitely got to be bummed out about that. OJ and Toothpaste says, do you think Sammy Smith will take over the 19 next year or the year after? I think Sammy Smith's going to be one of the drivers they move up. I like him to get moved up, and this is, I guess, somewhat controversial, but I like him to get moved up before John Hunter Nemechek does. I think Corey Heim and Sammy Smith are the future of Toyota over there, in my opinion. I think John Hunter Nemechek is just somebody that's like a hired gun that they're just sort of using for Xfinity Series wins and stuff like that. But that's just how I feel about it. I got no way of proving that, or that's just my thoughts on it. Hope Moulton realizes I'm only messing with him, says Dwayne. LOL. So if you're watching Moulton, Dwayne's just messing with you. Race day dinner is hamburger steaks and gravy, mashed potatoes, black-eyed peas, collard greens, and King's Hawaiian rolls. There you go. Look at a little Roush Racing shout out from Bumblebee there. I like it. Y'all come on, get you some, says Bumblebee. I wish I could. That sounds like a great meal. They should use low downforce package at all tracks. I agree. 100%. And definitely trim that spoiler a whole lot more than they've trimmed it. I'm still predicting Ryan Blaney will end up at SHR. I'm with you. I think it's either going to be Blaney or Bell. I think they're going to land some big free agent. Like that's my personal thoughts on it. I agree with that 100%. But if they're looking for a pay driver, Riley Herbst is the option. I think when Eric Almirola retires, that's when Riley Herbst moves up. So after next season, so after 2024, I think Riley Herbst moves up to that 10 car, possibly, if they're looking for a pay driver, if Smithfield bounces. Bring Blaney to SHR. I'm good with that. Yeah, like Ryan Blaney, like contracts are made to be broken. Like I catch a lot of heat because they're like, oh, these guys are under contract. But they actually said on one of the NASCAR podcasts that Nate Ryan's a part of, I think it was the PRN podcast or something like that, or MRN. I can't remember which one, but they said contracts are made to be broken. So finally somebody official has said the same thing I've been saying. Like, I think they go after Blaney, and I think they go after Christopher Bell 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that they want a big name like that 100%. Mark Barnum, EB, do you deliver? LOL. So looking for some DoorDash from Bumblebee's house. Mark, I'll throw it. LOL. So there you go. She's got a strong arm. She's going to launch that joker. Escobar says, funny John Force story I heard 20 years ago was one day he drove his kids to McDonald's and got them a Happy Meal that had a McDonald's toy car of Cruz Pedregon, and he took it and stomped on it. So that's pretty funny. Him and Cruz had some great battles back in the day. Cruz Pedregon in the McDonald's car was a tough out. They had some absolute battles. John Force, of course, still racing. Cruz Pedregon is now commentating, so that's also pretty funny too. They should bring Kenny Wallace in the Fox booth. He's funny. I think Kenny Wallace is trying to put something together with Speed Vision, so I do expect him to at least be pre-race. But I would love to see Kenny Wallace commentating. He adds another layer of just madness to the booth. Like, could you imagine him and Clint Boyer in the same booth? That would be good luck, Mike Joy, on that one. L opinion on John Hunter Nemechek says Bumblebee. LOL. That's fine. That's part of the fun of it. Everybody has their own opinions, but I just feel like those two drivers are going to be way better than John Hunter Nemechek, and I think that's who Toyota is going to go with. But it is what it is. John Hunter Nemechek's a great driver, and so for me to say that, I'm just thinking those two guys are better. But that's just it is what it is. I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again. There's no doubt about that. William Wagman says, leave Blaney there at Penske because of Joey Logano's hair has already grown into his brain. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Blaney is one you could take away from Penske, and I don't know that he's necessarily going to get the best Penske stuff, because I feel like Austin Cindric and Joey Logano will get the best Penske stuff. But that's just my thoughts on it. Once again, I could be wrong there, but I feel like Blaney is a guy you could lure away from Penske if you had the right pitch to him. Like, your crew chief is going to be Rodney Childers. If you come over here, like, I think that's something that could lure anybody away. Like, if you don't want Rodney Childers to be your crew chief, what are you really doing? So I think Rodney Childers is the big selling point there. If you're trying to hunt down a free agent. Mark Barnum says John Hunter Nemechek is a punk, in my opinion. So he does wreck a lot of people, right? Like, he has a very aggressive style, or gets into a lot. I'm not going to say he wrecks a lot of people. He gets into a lot of people. He drives very aggressively. He is involved in a lot of wrecks with other people, I should say. So he definitely has that reputation, and people have that opinion of him. I think more horsepower will help the short track. What's your thoughts? I'm with you. I think more, Josh Strickland. I think more horsepower helps everything, but NASCAR is very reluctant to do it because they're trying to lure other manufacturers in. So they've been very steadfast about keeping the 660, 650 or whatever package. They don't really want to go up above the 600 level for some reason. So I don't know. Rodney Childers is greater. Chase Briscoe, also John Hunter Nemechek, the 2311 in 01 in 2024, calling it now. So yeah, John Hunter Nemechek going to 2311 would definitely be. I've created a new team, 2411. We're coming. 2311 would definitely be a viable option. Running the number 01 would be cool too, sort of a nod to Jason Leffler. I would love to see that. So that would be a pretty cool deal. Escobar says, if Blaney leaves Penske, then who does Penske have for the 12 car? I mean, you can plug in. I mean, they would have to figure somebody out. Like, in this situation, you would be poaching Ryan Blaney from Penske, right? So Penske would have to figure out who they want to put in that 12 car. There is a plethora of young talent that they could pull from. Obviously, they would have to buy out some Ford or Chevrolet contracts, because there are not a ton of Ford drivers in the Ford pipeline, but it would be a situation where you had to figure out who you would want to plug into that race car, and they would have to poach somebody like Austin Hill would be somebody right now. Like, if the season ended today, because Richard Childress Racing doesn't have that third charter, and all that went down, Austin Hill would have to be one of the guys you looked at. Josh Berry would have to be one of the guys you looked at. So anybody like that, like anybody in the Xfinity series, you would definitely have to take a strong look at. Zane Smith would be another one. Zane Smith in the Ford pipeline, obviously in the Truck Series, but I think Zane Smith has shown that he can hold his own in the Cup Series with the one start that he's had, that huge sample size I have that I'm basing that off of. But Zane Smith would probably have to be the very leading candidate because he is in Ford equipment, and I think he's the best Ford pipeline driver you've got right now. So if the season ended today, I would say it would be Zane Smith they replaced him with. If it happened, we're living in fantasy world here, but I think that would be probably your best pick for that. If Kenny Wallace, I like Kenny Wallace. He helped Earnhardt in 2000 at Talladega, my first live race. To see Earnhardt win was phenomenal. Plus, he's never short on words, says Wayne Mueller. That's a fact. Old Herm, the Herminator, he's always got something to say. I've hardly ever seen him speechless. Kurt Busch is in the Fox booth at the drag race that's on now. Oh, that's pretty cool. So Kurt Busch branching out, doing some other motorsports. Of course, he drag raced for, I think, a full year at one point. I think he had like a layoff, or that when he got put in timeout for, I think that woman, was that when he got put in timeout for the woman talking some nonsense about him that was proved to be nonsense later. So be interesting to see. Let's see here. What did you think of Marty Reed doing ESPN broadcasts back in the day? Marty Reed, a lot of people just don't like him. So I don't know. I didn't ever have a problem with Marty Reed, but a lot of people just felt some kind of way about Marty Reed. So I don't know. He never bothered me, but a lot of people don't like him. Let's see here. I think Harrison Burton should go back to Xfinity. I just don't see him breaking out, winning races. I just don't break him out, winning races, or finishing in the top 10 like Ryan Blaney. I don't know what they're going to do with Harrison Burton. He came up probably 1 year too early, but I think if you wait on him, he will show his potential and get there. So I think that's interesting. What's going to happen with him? I think if you spend enough time with Harrison Burton, he'll get there. I think the potential is there, but will they spend enough time on him? That's going to be the big deal. He definitely came up way too early. And Ryan Blaney, when Ryan Blaney was driving that 21 car, it was a much closer alliance with Penske, in my opinion, than it is right now. So when Penske wants a driver in that 21, the 21 car will run much better. So I just don't think Harrison Burton is anybody that Penske wanted. I think Harrison Burton is a Wood Brothers pick to be in that race car because it brings funding to the Wood Brothers. So I think that's the big difference in the two. Same difference that Matt DiBenedetto had. He didn't have the absolute best stuff you could have either from Penske, in my opinion. So it's very situational how much support that 21 gets from Penske, in my opinion. Watching those pro stock motorcycles, those things are crazy. The female riders are real good, says Mark Barnum. Yeah, there's always a ton of female drag racing bike riders that are really good. That's been the case for at least as long as I've been alive, I think. So there you go. Got some spam there, and everybody is saying no to the spam. Don't want to say that guy's name because obviously that gets a lot of attention. So let's see here. Mark Barnum, Ty EB. Let's see here. Escobar says the new Speed Channel needs to bring back Wind Tunnel with Dave Despain. I would love for Wind Tunnel. I don't even care what channel it's on. I would love for Dave Despain just to have a show again. That guy's so knowledgeable on every level of motorsport. I used to love Wind Tunnel. It was one of the best shows ever made, no doubt about it. Bones 2 says, eye candy. Imagine Bell winning the title for Gibbs, then leaving Ford. That would be hilarious. That would be a situation, right? I thought the same thing last year with Tyler Reddick before he got knocked out of the playoffs. I was like, what if this dude wins the championship with RCR and then goes to 23-11? Like, that would have been an insane story. Same thing with Bell. Like, if Bell wins the championship for Gibbs and then bounces, right, so he can go dirt racing and race at SHR and have Rodney Childers as his crew chief, that would be pretty wild, right? Like, that would be super something. That would be super crazy. I can't recall. Maybe Darrell Waltrip or somebody. I'm trying to remember the last guy that won a championship, if there's ever been one. The last guy that won a championship and then switched teams. I can't really recall one off the top of my head. I think Kurt Busch had one gap year in between. I think Kurt Busch won the championship, then he raced for Roush one more year, then he went off and raced for the next team. So I think he would be the closest one I can remember. But I don't think anybody. I can't remember anybody that's won the championship and switched teams. Let's see here. The new speed channel. What happened to louvers with the Chevy, says Josh Strickland? I don't know. They confiscated them. We're waiting on NASCAR to say something. But if they are caught modifying them, like Roush was modifying them, I would expect the same penalty because it's only fair across the board. The only other thing you could point to is the 40-point penalty that Petty GMS got. So it's either going to be 100 points or 40 points if they're convicted of modifying that part. So and NASCAR has said there's a zero tolerance policy for it. So if they're caught modifying it, it's going to be at least 40 to 100 points, depending on which precedent NASCAR goes with there. Let's see here. Dave Despain was the best, says Michael Honeychuck. No doubt about it. Dave Despain was the man. Kyle Davenport says, I hope the new package makes them slide today. So that would be good. I hope they have a good race today. I hope the new package turns out to be a good deal. So that's one thing we haven't talked about. The new package, hopefully, will fix not only this track, but we'll fix all of short track racing. We also have, Martinsville coming up as well pretty soon here. So that's another one. Hopefully that one is hopefully this fixes the short track package. That's all we can say about it because the short tracks were atrocious to watch last year. So that's going to be another big thing to look for today. Will this fix the short track package? Tony Stewart's cars are kicking butt in NHRA today, except for Tony himself, but he's driving for somebody else. But that's cool. What is it? Tony Stewart Racing TSR is doing really good today. So that's good. Wind Tunnel was awesome, says OJ and Toothpaste. Yeah, no doubt about it. Wind Tunnel was basically, I guess maybe they got some old shows on YouTube, but you can look up some of the old shows on YouTube, Dave Despain. It won't be current information, but if you just watch the way he talked about stuff and the knowledge that dude had, super, super great show. What was your favorite win Dale Jr. ever had, OJ and Toothpaste? I mean, probably the first win he had at Daytona after his dad passed. Like that was a pretty emotional deal. I've got the diecast back there, I think. Yeah, right there. That one right there. The Born on Date car. I think that was that one. And then, of course, Jimmy Spencer gets out of the car and complains about it and later apologized on the Dale Jr. download for saying that. So it is what it is. And Junior said, don't worry about it. We were doctoring up everything back then. Because back in that day, everybody was cheating. So you could literally get out of the car whenever whoever won and be like, they were cheating. They had something cheated up. Yep, everybody had something cheated up. But NASCAR had to find it. And NASCAR didn't find it. So a win's a win in that situation. But that was my favorite Junior win, without question. My second favorite win was when he got in. It was actually a Busch Series win. When he got in the Busch Series car, in the number 3 Wrangler car for Richard Childress. I can't remember if that was at Talladega or Daytona or wherever. But he won with the Wrangler number 3 car in the Busch Series. That was really cool. Or it might have been nationwide by then, but one or the other. I think it was still the Busch Series back then. The old Wrangler hat. I remember everybody had number 3 Wrangler hats for like 2 or 3 years just off of that race. They wore them out, though. Let's see here. What's up, BB? I agree. Dave Despain got me into watching other racing. Yeah, the Speed Channel itself just got me into watching other racing 100%. Like Dave Despain was, you remember he had Two Wheel Tuesday too, where he talked about nothing but motorcycles. That was pretty cool. OJ, the one he had after he retired, LOL, says Mark Barnum. Oh man, that's crazy. Wow, Mark Barnum with the shade from the century there. That's a pretty good one. Seems like this year JRM has their own drivers run into each other. Junior needs to scale back on Xfinity and get a couple of cup charters and avoid them embarrassment of their drivers hitting each other. Yeah, so I haven't seen the wreck yet. Somebody sent it to me, but I haven't been able. Like I said, I didn't have really good reception at the racetrack, so it is what it is. 2010 Daytona July race, Junior winning in the 3 car. There you go, Bumblebee. Thanks for the super chat. That is awesome. I appreciate that. But yeah, the 2010 July Daytona race was pretty awesome too. No doubt about it. The 3 car, and that's the one I was talking about, I think. So yeah, and that was the last time that Dale Jr. ran the 3 car too. So he went out with a victory. He went out with a dub. At least in the NASCAR Touring Series, he definitely runs the 3 car every time he races in late model. So that was definitely really cool. Let's see here. Dave Despain, the best mind ever as far as racing journalism goes. Steve Wade from the Scene Vault is awesome as well. Yeah, Steve Wade's the man. I know he's polarizing, but Mike Joy knows a ton. So of those three, I think you've got a NASCAR history book there, 100%. But yeah, maybe Dale Jr. does need to scale back some of the Xfinity cars and start saving money for. Unless all those cars are making a profit, which is possible, but maybe save some money to get that Cup team ready, since he wants to do that for sure. Speed Channel back in the day was amazing, 100%. I agree with that. And Mike George also agrees with that. OJ and Toothpaste says, did you like the Jimmy Spencer crying towel segment on Speed? Jimmy Spencer was wide open. So back in the day, he was sort of like the original Kenny Wallace or whatever, even though I guess they're probably roughly the same age. But he was the first guy to just be out there and be outspoken and say all kinds of crazy stuff. And he had his own show. So yeah, that was he definitely had a really good show back in the day. Bumblebee, hello, Bumblebee, Baloney, and everyone else. What's up, Mike George? Good to have you on here. Michael Honeychuck, 1989. I was at the Isle of Man and spent 3 days with Dave Despain. Super nice guy. And him and Mike Joy together would be epic. They know racing. Yeah. Like if Mike Joy retires and wants to do a show with Dave Despain and then pull in Steve Wade, that would be crazy. Just all the stuff they could talk about from past to present. Like they're just those dudes. They're super knowledgeable. Maybe I'll get there one day, but I doubt it. Jimmy Spencer was hilarious. They would never have him on TV nowadays. Yeah, that's a fair statement. He definitely said some off the cuff stuff. He's not politically correct or whatever you want to call it. The Bandit, Bo Darville says, I know Junior doesn't want to tell his drivers how to race, but they're running into each other every week. Mayer looked like he spun the 8 on purpose. Yeah, I'll have to look at it. A lot of people have said that as well, so I don't know. I'll have to take a look at it, but I don't know. Eli Gold and Ned Jarrett, says Richard Hole. Eli Gold was good too. Ned Jarrett also really good. Eli Gold doing Alabama football now. Eli Gold was a better like play-by-play guy. I don't know about his history, but he definitely was a better play. He's probably the best ever play-by-play guy we've ever had. Because just the way he called the race, he actually said he had to slow it down because hockey was faster. So that was always interesting. I lost my sister yesterday. Oh, I hate that. Like this, like man, I hate that. If anyone needs help with depression, please talk to someone. The hole you leave behind is big. Please get help. I agree with that 100%. Yeah, that's just terrible, man. Like that's actually one of the deals. When I run the 84 for Dick Trickle, I'm actually going to try to find the Dick Trickle Foundation because I'm with you on that. I have had some friends do the same thing, and it might seem like the right thing to do at the time, but just talk to somebody because, I mean, it's just terrible for the people you leave behind. So whatever you think you're fixing doing that, you're not fixing anything. So hopefully just don't do that. Like if you're ever feeling like that, please don't do that. I hate that for you. Like, man, I hate that. So I'm so sorry, man. That stinks. OJ and Toothpaste. Do you watch Garage Guys podcast of betting? I don't watch the Garage Guys. I'm not super. I see them at the racetrack and stuff like that, but I'm not super familiar with what they do. But they have some really cool gear, no doubt about it. Hated to see old Jimmy anywhere near your guy at the end of a race. LOL, says Dwayne Mueller. Yeah, Jimmy Spencer would intentionally wreck people, and he did not care about it. And when he got wrecked, he had plenty to say about it. So that was always pretty funny. My favorite junior victory was All-Star 2000 NBC booth. Should include him, Kyle Petty, and Ralph Shaheen. Ralph Shaheen's another good one. Not a lot of people talk about him. Uncle Bones, praying for you like dislike and saying sorry for your loss. And once again, man, like that's terrible. I hate that you're having to go through that. Hope you heal as fast as possible and your whole family heals as fast as possible in a situation like that. Mar Barnum said Leah dropped a cylinder 1 quarter in the quarterfinals. Jerry Punch was great too. Yeah, Jerry Punch is definitely one of the all-timers. Nations says have we heard anything on when Chase will be back yet? So they said 6 weeks. So I guess 5 weeks after this week. So they said in about 5 weeks he should be back. Very good race last night, the 450 main Supercross at Indianapolis. I didn't see that one. I didn't catch that one. So, well, it's good. It's good you saw a good race there. So I'm not familiar with that one. Like dislike, I'm sorry for your loss. Team Penske fan saying, Lewis Kemp saying, hello, everyone. What's up, Lewis Kemp? Hope you're doing good. Like dislike, so sorry. We love you and we'll be praying for you and your family, says Bumblebee. So you definitely got support from everybody here. Like dislike, and we all hate that you're having to deal with that. Bo Darville says, like dislike, so sorry, dude. I've lost a few that way. Prayers to you. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the worst things you can ever go through because you it's just a hard thing to go through. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to talk too much about it out of school. So sorry for your loss, says Donnie Love. 100%. Matt Hunter saying Fox, Adam A, Kevin, Kurt. CBS should be Alan Bestwick, Andy Petrie. Andy Petrie was good. I don't know if Andy Petrie will do it again because he's the race director at RCR, and Ricky Craven. But yeah, I really like Andy Petrie in there. A lot of people are missing Ricky Craven. Ricky Craven just decided to retire from Fox. A lot of people are missing him. Alan Bestwick's definitely another guy. He's with the SRX now, so definitely all good picks there. I do like Adam Alexander, Kevin Harvick, and Kurt Busch as well. Kurt and Spencer had a good beef. Where Kurt Busch told him to kiss his butt on the racetrack. That was pretty funny. OJ and Toothpaste says, do you like Buffalo Wild Wings? I do like Buffalo Wild Wings. All my friends get the Asian Zing wings, and those are pretty cool. But I like the Thai curry wings. Thai curry is my favorite thing at Buffalo Wild Wings. Lewis Kemp sending his sympathies and condolences to like dislike. Anthony Auto Club Speedway says, do you think we see better racing or worse racing with the new package today? Oh, man. I'm hoping we see better racing. All the drivers talked about they thought it would be better racing. So hopefully we will see a better race. So I would lean toward we're going to see better racing. I don't know if it's going to be great racing, though. So I will say that. But I'm hoping it's like the best race ever and the short track package has been fixed. Mike George, like dislike, so sorry to hear that. So Mike George sending his sympathies with you as well. Like, we got your back, like, and we hate that you're going through this, man. Disco Inferno 70. Any news on NASCAR decided to do about the Hendrick infractions? We probably won't hear anything till Tuesday. Tuesday is usually the day that NASCAR releases penalties and fines and stuff like that. So I would circle probably Tuesday as the day that NASCAR will release what they have to say about those particular louvers. Mark Barnum, Haley Deegan took 7th last night in the 250 SX. Top 3, 2, top 4, and top 7 now in 4 races since turning pro this year. Oh, Hayden Deegan, sorry. Her brother Hayden. Sorry about that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, he's off to a good start on that deal. No doubt about it. Lewis Kemp, I kissed my son goodbye a couple years ago, so I know your loss. You learn to move on, but unless you've gone through it, you can't understand. Yeah, that's probably the best way of putting it, Lewis. It's just one of those things that it's really hard to explain how you feel about it. Just so many emotions inside when somebody leaves you like that. Really, really well put. That's probably the best way to put it, in my opinion. TSR Matt Hagan to the final in FC. So there you go, Matt Hagan going to the finals for Tony Stewart Racing. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. Hey, BB, it's sunny and warm here in Nova Scotia, and the snow is now half gone. Woohoo. Ironically today, Danny Price, it is snowing and sleeting out here in North Carolina with some rain as well. Woke up today with snow on the ground. So for once, it's snowing here, and you got a nice day. So we have flipped the script. So that's pretty cool. Bumblebee says, I feel like Wally Dallenbach was the most underrated color commentary guy ever. He was always solid. I think Wally was good too. I really liked it when Wally was the in-car race reporter too, when he drove that number 6 Pepsi car for the Busch Series or Xfinity Series or Nationwide Series, whatever it was back then. I really enjoyed when he did that too. Like, he would just be commentating throughout the race as he was racing in like 5th or 6th place. That was really cool back in the day. Timber Ray says, with Larson on the pole, the Hendrick parts must have been a bait and switch. Yeah, so that is a strategy when you're cheating. You make one cheating thing so obvious that they find it that they don't see the other thing that you got going on. So no doubt about it. Ray Evernham talked about that back in the day. So that's why I say that. Escobar, do you know what happened to Johnny Rumley? I remember watching him win his first Busch Grand National win. I believe it was South Boston or Myrtle Beach. I don't know necessarily why he didn't advance or anything like that. So I don't know. I don't know why he didn't get to Cup or anything like that. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he. I don't know why he didn't get a shot at the next level. That's hard to say. Steve Burns was the best commentator, and sorry for your loss. Steve Burns was definitely another good one, no doubt about it. We miss old Burnsy. And T-Van sending out his condolences to OJ and Toothpaste. Who's your favorite NASCAR YouTuber channel? I don't know, man. NASCAR YouTuber. Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know. It flip the coin, man. I like all the guys on the NASCAR Weekly podcast. They all do a great job. Slap Shoes has a great channel. NASCAR Man, I think, or NASCAR History. I can't remember. I love watching that one too because he always finds these insane things that you just never realized. Or Slap Shoes too. To be honest, they find these crazy historical things that you never ever thought about. I mean, if you want to consider Dale Jr. a YouTuber, Dale Jr. probably has the best channel, right? And Haley Deegan reaches a whole younger audience with what she's doing with her YouTube channel. More viewers or more subscribers, at least, than the Dale Jr. download. So I don't know. It depends on how you define a YouTuber. But I think Dale Jr. probably has the best channel. But that's for obvious reasons, right? He's definitely the best connected. So if you wanted to put it down like that, but I don't know. I feel like they all do a good job. Everybody does their own thing. David Land, not even really a NASCAR YouTuber. He's got a great channel too. He offers a lot of really good NASCAR insights. So, I mean, don't sleep on that guy either. I don't know. And then there's definitely Jet MDK. He's definitely good. Then there's some underrated guys that don't have a ton of viewers. I talk about him all the time. Elite Precision 29. That guy's got a great YouTube channel. I don't know. Could I name? Do you need me to name 100 more? I can't narrow it down. I like them all for different reasons. So it's hard for me. It's hard for me to ever say anything's the best. That's just the deal with me. It's situational. Like a Camaro is the best for driving on the street, but a Corvette's faster. So the Corvette's a better sports car. So I don't know. It just depends on your situation. But if you want a sports car and you still have to drive and get groceries, a Camaro would be better than a Corvette. So it's just hard to say who's the best channel, but I mean, they all have their different deals, and those are a lot of the ones I watch. NRF has a good channel, but he says a lot of things on Twitter that turn people off to his channel. So I don't know. A lot of people do good NASCAR channels. So I don't know. Those are some of the ones that I watch, though. By the way, Kyle, did you see my video about my work stall I posted yesterday? By the way, I liked Wally. I haven't seen that one yet, Lewis. I have to check that one out. Like I said, I didn't have a reception yesterday. I haven't even gotten halfway through the comments on my video. Took off yesterday, so I was like, wow, holy crap. So I haven't even answered all those, but yeah, I'll check you out. Enjoy your work, BB. I appreciate that. Does Ray Dunlap not do the truck series anymore? Yeah, I don't know what happened to Ray. I haven't seen Ray in a long time. I don't know what happened to old Ray. Hey, BB, says Lewis Kemp. What's up, Lewis? Enjoying my day off. I'm glad you got a day off, Lewis. So be able to check out the whole race here. We're waiting on the race, LOL. Danny Price says Bumblebee. Danny Price says, can you imagine if they called NASCAR like they call soccer in Europe? Oh, that would be insane. That would be insane. Bumblebee says Elite Precision is the man. Yeah, so if you haven't checked out Elite Precision, check out his channel. And if you like it, give him a like and a follow. So yesterday during the Xfinity race, Harvick made some negative comments about the rain package, and Adam A said, you'll find out next week in the inspection line. Seemed pretty risky by Adam. I like the fact that they called it out though, Bo Darvel. NASCAR is going to crack down on you super hard if you don't give the company line, I guess you should say. So that's a NASCAR deal. It's always been a NASCAR deal. But my favorite NASCAR YouTuber is that Bologna Burger guy. He's halfway decent. Yeah, he's all right. He's overrated, really. Really just overrated. Talks too much. Says in his live streams too much. Apparently in the live streams I repeat myself over and over again. I've had a couple people tell me that, so I don't know. We'll have to work on it. Watch some of the racing from South America, and oh my God, the commentary. So there you go. Everybody's commentary for motorsports is different. I love the Australian V8 supercars from the 90s, how they announced the things back in the day. I used to love that. I've never seen people bring more life to it than the Australian V8 supercar announcers, and I don't even know their names. But from the late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s, Australian V8 supercars, they were the goats of broadcasters, in my opinion. Brock Beard is great. Says, oh yeah, Brock Beard, definitely put him in there. I forgot. I hate doing this live because I'm gonna forget somebody. Brock Beard is definitely somebody I forgot. Definitely a really good channel. Albert Husley, what's your opinion about Josh Berry driving the number 9? Hendrick did not have better options. I feel like Josh Berry is a pretty good option. I wouldn't judge what he did last week because, like I said, the throttle was sticking. I think he'll have some good runs in there. Hendrick had different options. Like, it's not like there weren't other people they could put in that car. I feel like they went with Josh Berry because they feel like he's the best option and they want to see what he can do at the Cup level. This is sort of a job interview for the next level for Josh Berry, in my opinion. Custer has been frustrating with his lackluster performance. As a fan of them, it's been frustrating because there's a thing. It's given ammo to people who think he's just a bad driver, says Moulton. Yeah, I agree, Moulton. It is giving ammo to those cats. And it's unfortunate because we know Cole Custer is a good driver, but I feel like that team is just a little bit off. Prince Kabbalah, you're doing great too on YouTube. I appreciate it, Prince. I do my best. Even if I'm not doing good, I'm going to keep cranking them out and doing the best I can. So windshield wipers removed. Willow Spicewood. Yeah, I don't know. Like apparently some of the cars in Xfinity were running them, some of them weren't. So I feel like NASCAR should make a rule where you either have to run them or you don't, because they're definitely doing it for some type of advantage, no matter which way they're doing it. NASCAR needs to make it even across the playing field, since that's NASCAR's big thing this year, or since the Gen 7 cars come out. IndyCar needs to add a couple of races and some ovals. IndyCar definitely could add some races. I think IndyCar is just working on building back up, though. So there's other things IndyCar definitely probably needs to focus on as well. Moulton better head to church and pray for Cole, says Mark Barnum. William Spicewood, just saw that on Facebook. I posted a video of Shelby GT500. I'm replacing the front bumper. Every bolt was locked. Oh my gosh, I hate that, Lewis. Oh my gosh, that stinks, dude. Uncle Bones too, Bologna Burger guy. So there were definitely some people at the track that were calling me the Bologna guy. I did get recognized at the short track for once. First time ever at the short track deal as far as working on the cars. So that was pretty funny. Fox NASCAR pre-race show is garbage, says OJ and Toothpaste. Definitely a lot of people feel that way. I'm not going to say they're garbage because they could obviously look at my show and be like, yours is trash, bro. So I don't know. I feel like they do the best they can, but they could definitely go a different direction. I'll say that. Moulton, you were in the house, says Dwayne Mueller. So, like I said, Moulton, people are always excited when you're on here. So don't feel like scared to speak or anything like that. T-Van, speaking of Steve Burns, do you know what happened with Burns' son? I remember Steve passed. He actually did some TV a few times. I don't know what happened with the son. I do remember he was part of the broadcast at points, but I never heard what he got into after he left TV. So I don't know. Bo Darville says, I like Brock Beard, but I literally giving awards to people who finished last is a weird idea. I'm sure a lot of those guys are not impressed. He's just doing it for fun. You gotta have a thick skin in this sport, in my opinion. So hopefully they take it the right way. Uncle Bones, I believe he's behind the scenes at Fox, so he moved behind the scenes according to Bones. So there you go. I think Larson gets the win today, says Albert. That's who I'm picking personally. Typically, when Larson goes to a track like this and shows speed, he typically gets the job done. That being said, I wouldn't sleep on Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano. Even though Joey Logano is not showing speed, like I wouldn't sleep on him. Definitely don't sleep on Kevin Harvick here. All of the Toyotas, typically Toyotas are pretty good at tracks like this. So I wouldn't sleep on any of them. Denny Hamlin, Truex, Christopher Bell. Who else? Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick at some point has to turn it around. So Tyler Reddick, somebody was asking a sleeper. Tyler Reddick might be my sleeper pick here. A hunk of felonious baloney in that mugshot you posted. Yep, that was definitely a mugshot. I like the use of the word felonious. That is a word that does not get used enough. I do like that word. Felonious baloney. Maybe that'll be the name. That'll be the name of the backup channel. Maybe Bumblebee. She's pressing me to come up with a name for a backup channel. So felonious baloney might be the backup channel. It seems like since Tony Stewart got into drag racing, NASCAR teams have went down in performance. It could be, but I think it was even before that. So I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say. It wasn't so long ago that they almost won 10 races. So I just feel like they hit a slump, and I think they can pull out of it at any point. So do you know what we call bologna here in Newfoundland? A round steak, LOL. I like that. I like that. I like that. That could be a backup channel name too. Tube steak, says Dwayne Mueller. So round steak or tube steak. I don't know if YouTube will let me get away with tube steak. OJ and toothpaste. Ty Dillon might get the 4 car next year. Yeah, obviously in Earth 2, Ty Dillon has to be the leading candidate for the 4 car. I could possibly push Larson out of the 5 car. So something to watch for on Earth 2 is Ty Dillon taking over after he wins this championship, obviously off to the fastest start in Earth 2. Molten Rage, also Brian Weber in that 66 was a moving chicane in the Xfinity practice. He was slow and probably caused John Hunter good points by damaging the front of his car in practice. That's one of those deals. You got to have your spotter on point at all times, letting you know what's going on in front of you. Albert Husley, I forgot to ask, do you think we'll drive the 4 next season? It's a toss-up. I think they're going to go after a high-profile free agent, if I had to guess. So I think it's either going to be Christopher Bell or Ryan Blaney or somebody like that. They're going to try to pull a free agent, basically a la what Denny Hamlin did, in my opinion. Dwayne Mueller, I don't think so. No, not Ty Dillon. So Dwayne Mueller obviously doesn't want him to leave Spire on Earth 2, by the way. Earth 2 is a fictional universe, by the way, Dwayne. So he doesn't want Ty Dillon to leave Spire 77. He wants that dynasty to stay together on Earth 2. Baloney Burger, heel turn, second channel, felonious baloney. So there you go. That's where it'll be nothing but opinion, no facts, and I will just I will say everything wrong, but as long as I feel emotionally good about it, that's the way it is going to be. And I will put on a black beard, and I will have red hair or whatever. I guess a brown beard with red hair. I don't know. The world needs more heel turns, says Bo Darville. I agree. I just found out Dale Earnhardt and David Pearson subbed for him in a race. That's pretty cool. I did see that the other day myself. So maybe you saw the same thing I saw, but I didn't know that either. My favorite NASCAR YouTuber is Brock Beard of Last Car, then yourself. Brock Beard does a great job. I'm just glad I'm in the running. I'm happy to be there, Matt Hunter. I'm definitely going to be that guy always as far as YouTube. I'm always glad when I'm even mentioned. I think that's still a big deal to me. Y'all got this mess wrong with BJ McLeod is taking the 2023 Cup. It's going to be close. It's going to be close for BJ. 2023 Cup Series title hands down. He's going to clinch at Talladega in the fall. Level of dominance. There's no doubt about that. He is going to be a contender. But right now, Ty Dillon, the sleeper, is off to a good start. He's been mid-pack in both Earths, but now he's definitely raised his level. He's definitely taken over Earth 2. There's no doubt about it. BJ McLeod, he's a veteran. He's got 7 or 8 championships in Earth 2. But Ty Dillon, he's coming. He's coming for that title. Chad Huffman, who is your pick for the win today? I like Kyle Larson, but I wouldn't sleep on any of the Toyotas or any of the Hendrick cars. But I'm picking Kyle Larson. Maybe Joey Logano or Chase Briscoe, but I feel like it's going to be a Kyle Larson day. Do you think Sam Hunt Racing will be JGR's new satellite team in Cup? It could be. It's trending that way, and I would lean toward you are probably right there, Prince Kabbalah. That's a good guess and a good bet, in my opinion. And that'd be the same thing I'm doing, guessing and betting. But I think it's a good guess there. Molten Rage. I don't even know how Brian Weber even had a NASCAR license. I don't know why Carl Long decided to pick him to be in 66 this week. Because he was embarrassing. Heck, Brian got replaced by Hill. So I don't know. He might, as far as Carl Long goes, he might have just had the money, and Carl might have needed some funding for that program. So you never know. than yourself. Also, Keegan Schneider says Matt Hunter. So there you go. Check out Keegan Schneider as well. Wishing everyone and you, Kyle, the best. I'm gone now, but I have to watch my video. Yeah, and I'm gonna wrap it up here in just a few minutes as well. I've gone now, but I have to watch my video. I'm working on 15 wrecked cars right now, and 6 more I haven't touched. Oh, that's rough, dude. That is rough. I put an engine in this morning, so I feel you before I came over here and started this up. 3 Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz are a pain to work on. A Jaguar SUV and an Audi hitting the back. I do not. Mercedes-Benz are in my opinion, kind of hard to work on. I'm used to working on Hondas. Hondas are super easy to work on. So, yeah, I feel you. My Chevrolet Silverado is sort of a pain in the butt to work on too. GM has done GM things and put a lot of things in the way. I would like to see Corey LaJoy in the 4 car. That's another one. Corey LaJoy, somebody at some point has got to give that guy a chance because I feel like he can get the job done. He's showing he can get the job done at Spire. I mean, look at what he's doing at Spire compared to every teammate he's ever had. So, I don't know. John Hunter's dad ran the 01 with the U.S. Army sponsorship. Also would make that car number lineup. Yeah. That's a good point too. That is a very good point. I didn't even think about that. Good catch, Matt Hunter. At 2311, be the 01, the 23, the 45, and the 67. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, no doubt about it. I'll take Kyle Busch, says Paul Dog. Kyle Busch, no doubt about it. It's got to be one of your favorites. OJ and Toothpaste with the LOL about Earth 2. After comparing Blaney to Kane, Kyle Petty picked Blaney to win the race. Yeah. I mean, Blaney has to break out too. So Ryan Blaney and Tyler Reddick, I guess, would be my underdog picks here, if you want to call them underdogs, because they're both super good. So those would be my dark horses or whatever. Because they're both going to break out at some point. I think Josh Berry does decent today. I'll say, yeah, I agree with that. I think Josh Berry is going to have a good day today too. Bell or Chastain, I always pick 5 and 6 qualifiers, says Shaw. Bell and Chastain are definitely good. Definitely good. Let's see here. Do you think Chastain, don't sleep on him. Compared to how he ran at the end of last year, he ran second here and was the only one that looked like he was going to give Joey Logano any type of problem. So Chastain, that wasn't sitting in a teammate car. Obviously, Ryan Blaney was good. But yeah, Chastain and Bell would be good picks here, no doubt. Let's see here. Do you think Kevin Conway was a good driver? I don't know. Like he never was in a good car, so I don't know. That's a tough call. Girlfriend, pickled hot bologna. It's really good. Have you ever tried it? I've never tried pickled hot bologna. I've never even heard of it. So I'm gonna have to look that one up. It's only cheating if you get caught, says Dakota Henderson. I agree. But that being said, when you get caught, you got to pay the price. We don't know if they were cheating yet or not. We got to have to see what NASCAR has to say. But if they were cheating, I would expect either the same penalty that Roush Fenway Keselowski got, or the same penalty Petty GMS as they were last year got. How's the Yugo search going, BB? I have narrowed down some stuff. We're still about 800 away or 700 and something away. So got a little bit of time, but I have narrowed down a few that I got my eye on. Hopefully they don't get gone by the time that event rolls around. I guess technically I could buy it now and just like roll the video out that day. I feel bad for Timmy Hill because he had somehow salvaged that 66. Of course, he DNQ'd because that car was not fast, but I did feel bad for him that he had to try to salvage it. Yeah, Timmy Hill's, that's another one. So Timmy Hill's a really good race car driver. He's just another one that doesn't have funding and doesn't get looked at. So it does stink. Whenever he has a good race, he never seems to have the results for it. 2311 must be having buyer's remorse. I don't know. A lot of the stuff that with Tyler Reddick he's either been in a wreck or he's had a mechanical failure. I think he'll get a win before the year is out. I still think he's going to be a really good driver in the future. So I think long term they're probably okay with it. But this year definitely getting outperformed by the car he left so far. And I think throughout the season until Kyle Busch retires, he'll probably get outperformed. So Timmy Hill deserves better rides, like he's an overachiever. Yeah, I agree with you there, Moulton. You're on the money with that. Timmy Hill's a really good race car driver, no doubt about it. New channel name, Pickled Hot Bologna. That's good. Like we'll put that up to. I'm fixing to get off here in just a second, but we'll put that up to a vote on the next one. I'll look through this and have all the names we got, and we'll let the fans vote on it and see if they can sway me one direction or another. Kyle Weatherman also an overachiever. I like Kyle Weatherman because, like I said, I pull for all the Kyles. That deserves better rides than he gets. Yeah, he's definitely overachieved. He's done more at Mike Harmon Racing than anybody I've seen at Mike Harmon Racing do. Mr. J, what's up? Good to see you on here. I think Chastain is going to struggle with this new short track package. He is going to need the Hell Melon. Oh, there you go. T-Van saying Ross is going to struggle with the package. I like a good hot take. How will Raikkonen and Button do at COTA? I expect the top 15 from Raikkonen. Jensen Button, I expect the top 15 as well, as long as he gets the SHR set up. So that's what I'm looking for out of both of them. I think a top 15 will be a successful day. T-Van, Lane Riggs running anything this year? He went and practiced. He's got from what I've been told from friends, he's got a Friday class at Charlotte for his engineering degree that he's getting. So that Friday class is going to sort of eat into his practice time, but he did come up to Southern National and practice on Thursday, but I don't know what happened, if they were just trying to get a practice in to sort of shake the car down for other races. They are going to run some late model races this year. I don't know if he's going to do any truck racing or anything like that. So he's got a Friday class that's sort of playing hell with his schedule from what I've been told. BetMGM has Ty Dillon winning plus 400 to win today. Hey, there you go. That is not nearly a long enough line for Ty Dillon. BetMGM being stingy with the monies. Let's see here. How come the number 8 is always better than the number 3? Because Kyle Busch is better than just about every driver out there. So, I mean, Kyle Busch is elite. It is what it is. You're seeing a driver make up 8 or 10 spots there in similar equipment. But to be fair, Austin Dillon has been close. Like, Austin Dillon's been within 3 or 4 spots a lot of races. So it's not like Austin's getting completely smoked. Now, last race he did, but the races previous to that, he's been pretty close to him. Bo Darville said because Austin Dillon drives the 3. I mean, yeah, but I mean, unless you're going to put like Kyle Larson or somebody else in the 3, who is really on Kyle Busch's level? Like, let's be real about it. You know, like Kyle Busch is elite. BB, have you had the double down sandwich from KFC yet? Thoughts? I don't know about the double down. I remember the double-licious back in the day. That was like the 2 chicken patties, and then they had the sauce and the cheese in between it. Like two chicken breasts. I remember the double-licious. If that's the same thing as the double down, I bet that would be good. But it's Lent right now, so I've actually given up meat and cheese for Lent, which has really freaking sucked. It really sucked at the racetrack because I just had to walk around and watch people eat food. So I'll be probably the happiest dude of all time when Easter gets here. Not super religious, just to be totally honest with you, but I decided to do Lent this year. I think old Harvick will be in the mix today. He and Childers are pretty good at making the car better through the race. He'll be relevant at the end, I think. Yeah, I think Harvick will be one to deal with today, no doubt about it. And I think him and Childers are going to hit the setup before it's over with, and I think they win 1 or 2 races this year as well. Prescabala, I'm no simper SJW, but Mandy chick, watch out for her. She's going to be great, and she's exactly what NASCAR is looking for, an actual race driver who can work on cars. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Katie Hettinger is probably another one you need to watch. Isabella Robusto, another one you need to keep an eye on. So I would keep an eye out for all of them. And I can't think of her name. It just escaped my mind. Kaylee Bryson. Kaylee Bryson's another one. She's from Dirt. You should watch her too. Bumblebee saying she's going to head out. Got to run to Dollar General before race time. See y'all next stream. All right. And I'm going to read these last 3 that I got on my screen here, and then I'm going to jump off as well. Kyle Weatherman is taking the O2 into something and finishing top 15 in it. Both races. What's really embarrassing is he's better than Brandon Jones. In a junior motorsports car, Kyle Weatherman is great. I agree with you. Kyle Weatherman is a great driver. I think so too. He's got a chance to be a great driver if he can get in the right equipment. Bo Darville saying later, EB. Kurt Busch was on the NHRA broadcast. So yeah, that was cool to see as well. I appreciate it, Napa Racing fan. Do we have KFC here? We do have KFC here in Nova Scotia, but our Mary Brown's chicken is way better. Come up and try it. So there you go, Mary Brown's chicken. I'm going to put that on the list to go check out. Kevin Harvick, if he finishes top 10, We'll have a record-breaking 20 top 10s in a single track. So that'll be cool to watch for as well. And Napa Racing Fan throwing up the Hill Melons, picking the Watermelon Man to win this race. All right. And Bo Darville saying bye, y'all. And I'm going to do the same. Until next time, peace. I appreciate y'all hanging out. And it was fun as always. So thank you for hanging out with me.